Hey everybody, today we're going to be looking at Leviticus for our devotional. We're going to be in chapter 19, and some really cool and hard truths that we're about to talk about here. So flip over to Leviticus chapter 19, over to verse, we're going to start at verse 31. Don't turn to mediums or necromancers. Okay, that's pretty easy, cool. Don't seek them out, and so make yourselves unclean by them. I am the Lord your God. You shall stand up before the gray head, and honor the face of the old man, and you shall fear your God, I am the Lord. Okay, so like honor old people, that's cool. When a stranger sojourns with you in your land, you shall not do him any wrong. You shall treat a stranger who sojourns with you as a native among you, and you shall love him as you love yourself. For you were strangers in the land of Egypt, I am the Lord your God. You will do no wrong in judgment, in the measures of length or weight or quantity. You'll have just balances and weights, and a just ephah and a just hin. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. And you will observe all my statutes and my rules and do them. I am the Lord. This is kind of challenging at times. Obviously, the first little bit, like, don't go looking for wizards. Check. That's pretty easy to avoid. Then it's stand up and honor those who are older than you. And that's pretty easy. And a lot of times they're easy to respect. They have a lot of knowledge. You want to learn from them. That's cool. And then we get to verse 33. When a stranger sojourns in your land, you will not do him any wrong. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. Like, don't mistreat somebody who's coming in, visiting, whatever. You shall treat the stranger who sojourns with you as a native among you. It's like, okay, so not only are we supposed to not be mean to them, we have to treat them like one of us. Okay, sure, whatever, that's not too hard. And you will love him as yourself. At which point you're like, but I don't know the guy. Right? We hear this statement, and we're supposed to treat strangers and foreigners as if they were one of us, and as if they're in the nation with you. Right here, we're talking about Israel. And you're also supposed to love them as yourself. And that's really hard. Because there are a lot of people. And me as a human with limited capacities and limited motivation, it's hard to muster up all the love that I have for myself for everyone I come into contact with, no matter who they are or where they're from. And that's strange to me. It's a weird teaching here. We're really familiar with the teaching, love your neighbor as yourself, right? You've heard this. It's super basic. It's like Christianity Bible 101, love your neighbor as yourself, love God. But here it's, no, love that random dude that just walked up to you as much as you love yourself. And you're kind of caught back. You're like, why, like, how am I supposed to do this? What if they're not safe? What if they do all that? Like, what if? And then you hear, love them as yourself. But what if, no, love them as yourself. Well, what if they come from, love them as you love yourself? And it's this really challenging message that really, it's very hard to do. Because we live in a world where people can come from all over the place. We have planes. People can come literally from across the entire world into your life. And here, God is telling you, love them as you love yourself. Even if you know nothing about them, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from, love them as you love yourself. And that's hard, right? But here we're reminded why we need to do this, right? The last part of that verse 34, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. We have Israel here who is fully aware of being mistreated, who is fully aware of being taken advantage of, who's fully aware of having people discriminate against them and try and put them down. So they have empathy for these people, or at least they should. You have felt this pain. Don't make others feel it, right? That's the idea that we're getting right here. So I ask you a question today. Have you ever been mistreated? Have you ever been wrongly classified? Have you ever wrongly been judged? Have you ever felt this pain of somebody thinking things about you that aren't true? or ever come up to somebody with no bad intentions in your heart, but for some reason they don't trust you, they don't want to let you into their lives, they don't want to have really anything to do with you at times? Have you felt that pain? And here God says, don't let anyone else feel that pain either. We've all felt it. We've all been wronged, some of us a lot more than others. But here, even in this old law code book, we're hearing the word of a God who doesn't seem to want to limit his love or the love of his people, right? We think of the Old Testament, it's all about just Israel, and then Jesus comes and it's for everybody. But here we see everybody deserves to be loved. Even under this old covenant, everyone deserves to be loved and taken care of, as you would take care of your own body. So that's my challenge for you today. No matter who you come into contact with, if they're a stranger, if they're a foreigner, if they're a different race than you, if they're a different background than you, if they come from across the pond, if they come from next door but you've never talked to them before, love them as you love yourself. It's really hard, but it's our calling. It's our challenge. So as you go throughout your day, trying to spend a day, see what happens. Spend one day trying to actually love everyone you come into contact with, whether it's your neighbor, whether it's your enemy, whether it's some stranger you've never met, as you love yourself, because that's what we're called to do. If you want to be notified whenever we put up one of these videos, you can subscribe, you can click the bell icon. But until then, we'll see you next time, and try loving everybody.